Cheers, everybody. Welcome back to another beer review. And I mean it this time. There's no cider, there's no ginger beer hanging about. We've got a beer at last. We've got a beer which has been part of the new Tesco range. And I'm not really excited about this new Tesco range, but I'm going to end up doing them over time. And I went in there this week, and it was this out of all the beers, this was the one which really interested me the most because it's from a brewery for me who last year were the king of the supermarket beers for me. I mean, they brought out three beers in three different supermarkets, and they were all brilliant beers. I really enjoyed them all. So for me, this brewery are more or less setting the standards for me in supermarket beer. So we're off to the Salt Beer Factory, and we have a New England IPA, and it is a can of the Huckaback. Super smashing great, clocking at 5.5%. So there you go. Now, if you're not familiar with salt beers, they are brewed in a form of textile mill, and all their beers are named after certain types of techniques in stitching on and other things. Everything is kind of like connected to the brewery's former owners of the building, should I say. So Huckaback, it says on here, strong linen cotton fabric with a rough surface for toweling and glass cloths. I wouldn't even know that, to be honest. I wouldn't even know that. So that's the old textile mill that they're based at in Saltaire. It's Saltaire, isn't it? That's why I think it is. Anyway, let's crack it open like you do. So this was £2.40, which is pretty cheap for a tall boy of craft beer in the supermarket. Tesco are starting to lower their prices on some of them. Obviously, I think depending on the ABV, I think the price will fluctuate. But I've always said in these supermarket releases, you'll have a couple of real bangers, a couple of really good ones, then you'll start to have a lot of crap, if you know what I mean. So it's not just picking out the best ones, if you know what I mean. So I'm waffling on, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to have a sniff. Yeah, it's typical New England IPA, stone fruit aroma. It's there with a bed of a slight yeasty bed underneath it. It smells pretty decent. It smells what I expected to do. I'm not expecting anything else but a solid New England IPA out of this can. Nothing. If it's spectacular, it'd be brilliant. But nothing. Just a really good, solid beer. 5.5%. Nothing to really nothing to really criticise about. I want a good solid beer out of this can right now. So, beer in a glass, look at that. It looks wonderful. I love the colour. Any beer with the colour of that, I absolutely adore. I think if anybody asks me what my favourite colour is, I'll have to say it's that colour. So the aroma. Yeah, stone fruit, slight peach, slight lemonness. There, that New England character, you get out the aroma of these New England IPAs. It's just there, it's paramount. You just pick it up. It smells gorgeous. I'm going to go in, so cheers, everybody. Cheers. That is exactly what I wanted. Nice, tasty, solid beer. And I've got that. More on drinking it though. I've got it. Oh, I'm full of shit sometimes. Let's go in again. First impressions, you get them lovely characteristics. It's there. Again, a lovely stone fruitness, like a beddy yeasty thing going on in the taste. It's there. It's like bitter edge. It does. This is the only but for me. It's 5.5%. It does. It does not feel. It's a little bit thin. Put it that way. It's a little bit thin. 5.5% though. It's still enjoyable stuff. There's nothing really, in reflection of the strength of it. It's got the flavour, Yeah, it's a rather nice, solid beer for me. It's doing what it says on the can. You're getting all them lovely New England IPA notes. Not too much bitterness. A drinkability, which you wouldn't get with anything a bit stronger brewed. And I have to say, Salt Beer Factory are pretty consistent on their own. But when I tend to do collabs, they're a little bit hit and miss for me. But as far as supermarkets are concerned, there's two breweries for me which have really done well in where supermarkets are concerned. Salt Beer Factory and Vocation Brewery, both in Tesco. And for me, them breweries have really taken hold of the supermarket genre with craft beer and done really well out of it. But don't expect every beer from Vocation to be good, and don't expect every beer from Salt to be good. There's gonna be, differences in the styles and within the styles and the quality. I think you have to. I think you will always get them consistencies because difference of consistencies because of the amount of beer they've got to produce to kind of like satisfy all these stores. But out of the two breweries, I think for me, Salt have fared better, especially in this next wave of Tesco beers. I think this one is definitely one worth getting, one worth sessioning as well. I'm not that excited about the Vocation one, but I will get round to doing it, if you know what I mean. So let's get back to the Salt beer. I have to say, this is rather nice. It's rather pleasant. If I paid, more money for it, I'd feel a little bit aggrieved by it. But, at the end of the day, it's doing what it says on the can. It's a 5.5% New England IPA, and it's doing it. It's just, it's lacking a little bit for me. It's just a little bit thin in places. But, you can't have everything in this world, can you? One more for the road. Enjoyable stuff. Thank you very much for watching this one. I've battered your ears enough for 8 minutes. I do apologise. See you on my next one. Murder me in the comments too if you want. Cheers.